What story does my face tell? Does it tell of my childhood, being born and raised in a cult? Or how at 16 I held my mom's hand as cancer took her from me? She was only 42 years old. Can you tell that I became a mom at 17? Or that I left the cult, barely 18, with only my 2-month-old infant and $50 to my name? Does it show the challenges, joy, hardships of single parenthood while attempting to protect my child from my own traumatic past? Can you tell how proud I am of the person he is? Do you see me falling in love, learning how to trust, starting my business? He was my muse, my stabilizer, my perfect partner, my calm in the tempest of life. He captivated my heart and fascinated my mind. This magical unicorn loved me. Can you see how he died? Not by my tear-soaked face, but the distant look in my eyes. I hope you'll see that I'm still here. I wonder what story we'll see if I turn 43. This is me, 17 and pregnant. I was 16 going on 17 when my mom died. She was 42. During her final labored breaths, I could hear Grandma's words loud and clear. You killed your mother. Someday you'll die of cancer, just like her. Those words echo within me still, especially now. This week, I'll be 42. Will I survive to see 43? Growing up, death seemed imminent. Somehow I survived. I'll likely survive this too. But what if this is my last year? What have I accomplished? What did I learn? How have I changed? Who have I loved, lost, nurtured, helped, hurt, trusted, despised? How will I be remembered? Who am I? Since the day my mom slipped into oblivion, I've held a secret torment that after surviving a barrage of challenges, I would be unable to survive my 42nd year. I could live the best life, yet death would win, and the battleground would be my 42nd year. But then came a magical unicorn who renewed my innocent belief that fairy tales can come true. He wasn't a white knight come to my rescue. He was just a man who offered to take my hand and journey together. In all of my life, I've never felt so safe, calm, protected. He helped me trust by being reliable. He stimulated my mind with his humor and brilliance. He introduced me to his world as I too shared mine. He showed me how to love by loving me unconditionally. He never tried to change me. He lent me counsel but respected my decisions. We disagreed but never fought. We communicated to explain our position and listened to understand, not respond. He loved all the parts of me, fully and wholly. We were living our happily ever after. But depression snuck in. That lurking shadow that fogs the mind and paints the rainbows gray. Our home that gave him peace, comfort, and safety, he now felt undeserving of. He suddenly desired a more dangerous life. He yearned for a way to blow up his world, just so he could be reminded he was still living. Those thoughts, those that a man dare not speak, those dark thoughts, they came and went. He couldn't share it, not even with me. He opened up, but then played it down. He felt he was undeserving of my concern, my help, my love. He slowly lost control of the tempest within. The bomb within his psyche was about to explode. He knew he would cause the most damage to me as I was the closest to him. So he started pushing me away, warning me of the dangerous man he believed himself to be. He now thought of himself as a burden, and no demonstration of his worth could he acknowledge. He pushed me away but held me tighter. He told me to live and live, to never change, and reminded me of the survivor I am. He told me he loved me, that I was his forever, but also said he couldn't be my eternity. If I'd only known he was saying goodbye that dreadful night. His brain misfired for the final time. After all his fight to live, he gave in to the shadows. Those ominous shadows that engulf the soul and short-circuit the brain. Losing him cast a very dark shadow across my life. Depression is an old, familiar friend of mine. This barren wasteland feels strangely comforting. Scattered across this dismal place are reminders of my past traumas. Times when I felt hopeless. All these tragic memories integrate and entangle into my current grief-stricken state. My former self seems lost forever, but I'm a survivor. Approximately a year and a half after my mom's death, I left the cult, barely 18, with my newborn. My son gave me the motivation and courage to leave the only life I knew so we could build a better life. It wasn't always easy. The shadows were lurking, but I had a purpose. My child would be raised by me, not a cult. He would know that I would always be there for him. I couldn't ensure that safe, warm, protected place if I exited life. Death put a pin in it. My son has grown into an amazing adult. I no longer feel responsible for him as I once did. He has a partner to journey this life with. He doesn't need me as he once did. Since losing Jordan, I long to feel peace, stability, and safety, but it eludes me. Chaos controls my emotions constantly. Death no longer terrifies me. I await our date patiently. There is a strange liberation in that. I figure if I'm to retire this life, maybe I'll share my story. Perhaps it could help someone else. Some may judge, but this is my process. Suddenly, through this dark fog, I see glimpses of a rainbow. Others are out there in their own fog, others who cannot speak. I may be unable to interact with life comfortably at the moment, but I can always speak. And if sharing my story helps someone, anyone, feel seen, heard, understood, comforted, maybe a little of that rainbow lives in me yet. I'm not done living. Today, I'm 42. I'm curious to see what I'll have accomplished by 43. Happy birthday to me. Parabéns pra você nessa data querida. Muitas felicidades, muitos anos de vida. Until next time.